Good evening, sir.
Good
Sorry,
evening,
I'm
yeah.
sorry I'm late. I've got rather a tough schedule at the moment. Which,
Yes, well,
I'm sure you can understand. Well, yes.
I've
obviously,
made myself at home here. You can see the little
well, that's good.
hammock I've put up
You've
there.
got lots of time, and I haven't because I'm quite busy. And
Right, I thought
I've
we'd
got quite a lot of
start.
important things to do.
Yes, I thought
Which
we'd
it must be
start
rather
on
nice
my-
not having important things to do and generally having a lot of time to fritter away.
Yes, I enjoy.
Sorry, you were saying?
I was just saying today we could start on the subject which we mentioned last week, we didn't get around to, which was the beekeeping.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
I mean, I've got quite a few
Since
anecdotes
yours-
because I started off with just one bee and
Are we rolling? Yeah.
used it to attract another bee and eventually got a swarm going. And it's quite an interesting anecdote.
It
isn't
sounds dull to me, actually.
Well, it's very lifelike.
Well, perhaps you'd like to start it off then, since...
Yes, well, if you ask me a question, I mean, a simple introduction, like tell us about your beekeeping or something
all right,
like that.
I'm not really very interested in this. Hello, Sir Arthur, how are you?
Fine, I've had some bees in my youth and put them to work making honey.
Now, in your address to the Royal Society tomorrow, you intend to reveal the fossilised remains of the infant Christ. How do you feel that will go down?
Well, it is a remarkable discovery. A group of us were up in the Promised Land, as I believe it was called, and we were just rooting around for some sticks to start a fire with. And by some accident, this tiny little form had been preserved perfectly. So I picked it up, put it in my knapsack, and brought it home and had it scientifically examined at my institute. It's Christ at the age of about 9 months. Just beginning to walk, more crawling than walking, crawling across the desert in search of followers, really. And then, of course, he died.
So what are the implications, then, if Christ was fossilised when he was that small?
He was practicing resurrection. Because if you're going to resurrect yourself in front of thousands of people and found a whole religion on it, you don't want to make a cock-up, do you? So from a very early age, he was dropping dead and resurrecting himself. There's probably thousands and thousands of bodies of Jesus, and this is just the youngest one.
A series of larvae?
Almost, yes, pupae. In fact, he never really got it right at the end. I mean, it's not as if he was pronounced dead on the cross and then flew up and flapped his wings and said, "Hello, boys." He did it rather complicated way. He had to be put in a cave, old boulder, put in front of it. I mean, Paul Daniels could do that. But so I think he never really quite got the hang of it.
Could you tell how quickly these practice resurrections happened?
It took about 6 months. He died, as planned. Then, just as he was passing away, he suddenly forgot how to do it. But instinct carried him through, and gradually he resurrected himself. By which time he was under the sand because of the wind, and he not only had to resurrect himself, he had to fight his way to the surface, and of course died whilst doing that.
Suffocation.
Suffocation, he was smothered by sand, so he died again. And there's some controversy about whether my tiny Christ is in fact the 9-month-old TC or the 9.5-month.
This fits in with your theory that as Christ practiced resurrection throughout his life, he didn't do it flawlessly, did he? He produced several of himself at once.
Well, there was a time when he overdid it and reproduced 18 other Christs. So
Fine.
he had to wipe out 17 of them.
But he had to stop them resurrecting themselves once they'd done it.
Yes, he had to keep them underwater. I think St. Paul mentions it in passing.
Now, have you spoken to the Vatican about this?
I've had words with their envoy over here, the special nuncio, and he's absolutely thrilled to bits and has suggested somewhere a venue where we could put it up and have it start earning its keep.
But does he know that you intend to clone from its tissue?
No, I haven't gone into that with him because, frankly, it's none of his business. And it is a business.
Who's putting up the money for this?
Honda.
Now, when or if this is successful,
Mm-hmm.
what do you feel the result of it will be?
Well, I am very much hoping to be the first to shake Jesus by the hand and say, "Well done."
How far are you prepared to take this? Say the experiment is 4/5 successful and you end up with some animated tissue which is not particularly man-like. Would you allow that to carry on living?
Well, I think one would go on gut reaction. I think if one had 3/4 of Jesus, you'd know that it was Jesus, and I would settle for that. If there's a
What
little
diagnostic signs are you going to go for
just
that make it Jesus?
breathing,
A voice?
a voice, yes, maybe, but he could sign his message. You know, he could wave his hands around like they do on Channel 4.
Who will provide the words in that case?
Well, then we'd pre-record something with Martin Jarvis or John Hurt or somebody suitable could do the voice under.
Project a little sort of moving shape over his mouth.
We could probably just with an elastic band, we could get some movement. Oprah Winfrey's interested.
Has it altered your
Oprah
own...
has lost a lot of weight, hasn't she, and gained a lot of weight. One moment anorexic, the next moment bulimic, and in between regressing to child abuse.
And where would the words come from?
Oh, we just do whatever he said in the Bible, the same stuff, just recycle it a bit. You know, what he said was perfectly good.
I think you know what I'm getting at. I'm actually trying to find out whether you will be using him as some sort of conduit for your own warped ideas.
No, it'll be his warped ideas, not mine.
And what role do BMW play?
They'll be furnishing the vehicles.
Will he not be frightened by modern transport?
Yes. The Sony Corporation are interested in a sort of hover donkey. It can move at about 110 miles an hour.
Now, I'm told that the Japanese are more seriously involved than that.
In the miniaturization of Jesus, yes, because given his consent, of course.
And what will the Japanese do with these miniature Christs?
They will market them in the normal way, because there's a lot of people out there, people who are yearning to find Christ and who don't have the time to go out and look for him in person, who would like to have Christ through the letterbox.
How will they eat?
Who?
These micro Christs?
Conventionally, I think, through a tiny little tube which will be supplied.
And how will you guarantee their safety against...
Theft?
And dogs?
Well, showing a tiny Christ in Alsatian is like a red rag to whatever they're called, those big things with horns.
Bishops?
Bishops, yes. So, no, there are no guarantees. You've got a tiny Christ, he's 6 inches high, he's about 3 centimetres deep, and he has all the organs.
Where do they come in?
Well, just to... Look, I don't want to. This will be rather preempting my address tomorrow.
All right, well, let me put it to you like this. Don't you think that if you clone Christ, he will in some way want to remonstrate with you as soon as he can?
Well, that's up to him. But he'll be pretty lost without the batteries.
Right, Sir Arthur, thank you. It took a while, didn't it? But I suppose we got it in the end.
I think well worth it, yes.
Can I have it back now?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I don't think it suits me. Do you think the stuff about the beekeeping went well?
Yeah. Actually, I think it does suit you, in a way. What are you doing this evening?
Well, I nothing written down, but I was thinking of going along to the YMCA and have a swim.
Fancy a stroll first?
Yes, that'd be nice.
Where do you think?
Well, it's Tottenham Court Road's quite nice, near the swimming pool, the Oasis a bit.
I love walking up and down there.
What?